A group of prisoners volunteered for a secret Soviet experiment, but they were never the same again. Their bodies were intact, but their minds forever changed. This is the terrifying story of the Russian sleep experiment, one of the internet's most infamous horror legends. But is it real or just an elaborate hoax? Today we separate fact from fiction. Imagine being locked in a sealed chamber. No sunlight, no fresh air, just you and 4 others under constant surveillance. You are promised freedom if you stay awake for 30 days. But the price? Your sanity. This is where our story begins. It was the 1940s. The Soviet Union was desperate to find ways to keep soldiers awake for days without rest. The plan? A powerful stimulant gas tested on 5 prisoners in a sealed chamber. The scientists observed through small portholes. At first, everything seemed normal. The subjects talked, laughed, and showed no signs of sleep deprivation. But after 5 days, things took a disturbing turn. On the 4th day, paranoia set in. The subjects whispered into the microphones, convinced they were being watched. Some stopped speaking altogether, staring into nothingness. By the 9th day, they started screaming. One man ran in circles for 3 hours before collapsing from exhaustion. The others barely reacted. Then, on the 10th day, something even more disturbing happened. They stopped speaking. No sounds, no movement. The scientists feared the worst. Days passed. Then, on the 15th day, they made the chilling decision to open the chamber. What they saw inside was beyond comprehension. The walls were smeared with blood. One subject was dead. The others had mutilated themselves. Flesh was missing. Their eyes were wide. Their expressions twisted into something inhuman. They begged for the gas to be turned back on. They didn't want to sleep. They didn't want to wake up. When the scientists attempted to remove them from the chamber, the subjects fought back with unnatural strength. One ripped open his own abdomen with his bare hands, laughing as he did. It took multiple soldiers to restrain them. "We are you," he muttered before smiling. His final words? "We are the madness that lives in you all." But here's the truth. The Russian sleep experiment is most likely a work of fiction. No records, no evidence, no official reports. The story first appeared in 2010 on a horror forum, later becoming one of the most famous creepypastas on the internet. But what is real? The effects of extreme sleep deprivation. Studies show that after just 24 hours, cognitive function declines. After 72 hours, hallucinations begin. Beyond that, paranoia, psychosis, even organ failure. The mind craves sleep like the body craves food. So while this experiment may not be real, the consequences of no sleep certainly are. In the 1950s, the CIA conducted top-secret experiments under Project MKUltra, testing drugs that could alter human behavior. In the 1960s, a high school student, Randy Gardner, stayed awake for 11 days in a laboratory experiment. He experienced intense paranoia and hallucinations. This tells us one thing. Extreme sleep deprivation is dangerous. But could it ever create the horrors described in the Russian sleep experiment? Even though it's likely a hoax, the Russian sleep experiment has embedded itself in pop culture. Movies, video games, even scientific discussions reference this terrifying tale. But could an experiment like this ever truly happen? In the past, secret government tests have pushed ethical boundaries. So maybe, just maybe, there's more truth to this story than we think. What do you believe? Was this just a story, or was it something more? Let us know in the comments. Do you believe the Russian sleep experiment was real? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more deep dive documentaries on life's biggest mysteries.